Welcome to the F word, where the F stands for fraud. Dave, you've been saying something that's going to upset a few people. You think AI might be the next Enron. Why is that?
Well, I think the valuation is completely detached from reality, and it's always dangerous. And right now, a lot of AI companies are being valued on narrative and not on verified capability.
So this isn't AI is fake. This is AI is being exaggerated.
No, AI is very, very real. The problem we have is AI washing.
So let's define it. What is AI washing?
Well, AI washing is when a company labels a product as AI driven, when it's simply rules-based automation, or drops an existing API and markets it as proprietary intelligence, or it inflates its valuation by implying machine learning sophistication that simply doesn't exist. Then add depth. In forensics terms, it's misrepresentation of capability to influence investors or customer making decisions.
So give me a real world example.
Well, a lending company says that they use AI to assess credit risk. But when you dig into it, they've got a static Excel model with weighted scoring and manual overrides. Well, that's analytics, it's not AI.
So is that fraud?
Well, it depends on intent and disclosure, but the company certainly has a risk.
So you keep bringing up Enron. What's the real comparison?
Well, if you go back 30 years to when Enron collapsed, how did Enron get to the stage it was at? It was through complexity, financial engineering, and simply telling people that they wouldn't understand it. Today's AI pitch decks often use the same type of wording. It's technical opacity, black box claims, non verifiable metrics. The common thread is the narrative outrunning verification.
So are investors failing to ask hard questions or the right questions?
Well, in many cases, the answer to that is yes, because board members understand EBITDA, but they don't understand neural networks.
If someone asked you to review an AI company tomorrow, what are you going to look at first?
Well, we're going to look at a few things. First of all, we're going to look at revenue recognition. Is the product that's been sold even operational? Are they booking revenue before deployment? And are pilots treated as recurring income? Then we're going to have a look at development cost capitalization. Are they capitalizing costs that should actually be expensed? And are they inflating their IP value? Personally, I worked on one of these 40 years ago, believe it or not, where that's exactly what happened. Costs that shouldn't have been capitalized to a computer program were, and the program was therefore inflated horribly.
Mm.
Dependency risk is our next area. Is the AI just an external API? What happens if the pricing of that API suddenly changes? And then, of course, there's my favorite, the human override ratio. How much of the output is actually manually corrected before it's released? If 70% of all decisions are manually adjusted, it's not automated intelligence, it's just intelligence.
Okay, so let's be a little bit provocative, right? How many AI companies are just spreadsheets?
Well, in traditional industries, insurance, procurement, lending, I would estimate a meaningful percentage of what's marketed as AI is actually no more than structured analytics. Explain, Let me explain the difference. Rule-based systems equal predefined logic. Machine learning equals adaptive model trained on data sets. AI is a broad umbrella, including generative capability. The misuse of terminology is what's at issue here.
So should there be a legal definition of AI?
Well, that's coming. The problem is regulation always lags far behind innovation.
Let's talk about bias. AI is trained on data and data reflects society. So is AI inherently biased?
Well, all models reflect input data. If historical learning favored certain demographics, the model will replicate that unless corrected. More technically, it's how training data is selected, whether there's any feature rating, and whether there's any reinforcement of learning. AI isn't neutral, it scales patterns.
So, who decides what patterns get filtered? Now, let's lean into the controversial angle carefully, Dave.
Well, that's the real question. As governments regulate AI safety, they will inevitably influence the trading standards and control outputs. That can be good, can prevent harm, but it could also create influence over information.
So, you're suggesting governments should or could shape AI answers? Could
I'm
shape AI answers, not
I
should.
hope they won't shape AI answers, but I'm suggesting that regulation requires guardrails. Guardrails require value judgments, and value judgments influence output. So what we've got is content filtering, safety layers, and policy alignment. And when AI becomes the default information interface, whoever influences the model influences that perception.
Sure, that sounds super dystopian, a little bit scary.
Well, it's not dystopian, but it is a governance risk.
So let's try and end it let's end practical. If I am the investor, how do I know the AI is real?
Well, I think you start by asking a bunch of questions that need to be answered. Who built the model? What data trained it? Can you show the version history of the AI? What is the accuracy rate? What's the human intervention percentage? What happens offline, and who owns the intellectual property? If they can't answer those questions clearly, then the valuation should probably be discounted.
That's really, really interesting, Dave. I'm actually going to put that into the comment section. It'd be amazing if we could discuss that. I mean, in closing, is AI the next Enron?
No, AI in itself is transformative technology, but hype cycles create the fraud risk. The technology isn't the danger. Unverified valuation is.